Hello, Mela. So, when we are going through a really challenging season or a hectic time in our lives, one of the first things that tends to be pushed to the wayside is our art or our creative practice. And if you're watching this video, then chances are you don't want that to happen. You don't want to lose that connection that you have with your art. You want to be able to maintain it. Or you may have already lost that connection and you're feeling it. You're feeling that something isn't quite right and you want to reconnect with your creativity and with your art. So I feel you. I totally understand. I am going through one of the most challenging periods of my life so far, and it's been wild. Like the end of this year, from September onwards, it has just been a series of really challenging personal life experiences, one after the other. And the way my life looks now is very different from what it looked like just a couple months ago at the start of this year even. So there's been a lot that I've had to process through, and I could feel the ways in which the demands on my time and my attention have been stretched, and because of that, my ability to focus and prioritize my art was really challenged. But I fought, and I'm still fighting. I'm like, no, this is something that I absolutely cannot let go of. And so I wanted to share everything that I'm doing, the things that I've learned to really help me keep my art a priority and maintain that connection to it. So I hope these tips will be helpful to you as well. And as we're chatting about this, we're going to be painting, or you're going to watch me paint, the main character of the novella that I'm currently writing, which is really, really exciting. And so, yeah, get comfortable and let's chat about this. The first thing that I really want to emphasize here is if you are going through a really challenging time, there is no pressure whatsoever to be creating consistently and making art all the time, drawing every day. You don't have to do that, okay? I think a lot of us feel like, oh my gosh, we have to do this because if I don't, I'm gonna lose my connection to my creativity. And let me just tell you, that's not gonna happen. If you're anything like me, then being a creative, being an artist is a core fundamental part of who we are. And yes, there may be moments where because of how we grew up or the environments that we're in, we don't always feel safe expressing our authenticity, but that doesn't change the fact that we are who we truly are. And your creativity is always with you. Even if you are in a season where you can't actively tend to it the way that you would want to, it's not going anywhere. Anytime you turn to it, you are going to find that it's right there. It's always been there, waiting for you. It's not going to leave you. It's not going anywhere. And I think just knowing that can remove the pressure that we can feel around making art. And that's really important because if you're already going through a difficult, challenging season, then you don't want your art to also be an additional source of pressure where you're like, oh my gosh, I should be creating, and then you feel bad for not creating, and then when you create, you feel like you're constantly distracted. So I just want you to know there is no pressure in this time to constantly be making art and constantly be on. I think accepting that is really important, and that leads me to the next point. It's so important that you accept the current season that you are in right now and your current capacity. Something that I have had to learn is that your capacity is the truth. If you're sitting there and making all these plans, like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I have to do this and I have to get this done and I have to go here and all of this stuff, but your body physically, literally cannot, it does not have the capacity to do that, that is the truth. And whether you acknowledge that truth or not, it's going to find a way to come up and make itself known. by, I don't know, either you just shut down at some point during the day, or you find yourself frazzled, constantly irritated, like super annoyed at everyone and everything. When that happens, your body is giving you clues about what it can and what it cannot handle. And it's so important that we listen. And in these moments, it's important to acknowledge that, oh, my capacity has significantly shrunk. Because when we're going through a lot and we have a lot on our plates and a lot to think about, a lot to handle, all these responsibilities pulling at us in different directions, we can start comparing ourselves to other people who don't have the same responsibilities that we do, or a version of ourselves that didn't have to deal with all the things that we're having to deal with now. And that can somehow make us feel that there is something wrong with us for not having the same levels of energy or the same time to pour into our art the way that we would love to be able to do that. But it's really important that we accept the season. And we can resist doing this because we can misunderstand what acceptance does for us. We think accepting a situation or accepting where we are at is saying, oh, it's fine that this is happening. Especially if it's a season in your life where you're like, I really don't like this. I don't like what's happening. I don't like what's going on. We can feel like when we accept it, we're saying, oh, it's fine that it's happening. And that's not what we're doing here. Accepting also involves, if it's something that you're like, this is really hard for me and I'm not enjoying this at all, that is part of the acceptance. What we don't want to do is resist our circumstances, which tends to be our default. I don't like what's happening, so I'm going to push against it. And when we do that, that is the thing that keeps the circumstance in place or keeps us stuck in the cycle or the loop or whatever it is. And the reason for that is resistance is a form of arguing with your reality. You're trying to be like, no, this shouldn't be happening and all of that. But arguing with reality is not the same thing as dealing with your reality, processing what is happening. And this is what we need to do. This is what acceptance allows us to do. When we accept what is happening, we're saying, all right, I see everything. I see my responsibilities. I see the different challenges that I'm having to face and deal with right now. I see them and I acknowledge their existence. When we do that and when we get in that energy, that's what allows us to actually start using our creative mind and problem solving, really figuring out, okay, how do I navigate this season? How do I move forward in a way that is meaningful? But also, a lot of the times, acceptance involves grieving the losses of a previous season. So I heard a creator once say that feeling stuck is a byproduct of losses that you haven't yet grieved. So you may have had this dream that you really wanted and it just didn't pan out. It didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. But you haven't processed that through grieving that loss, through naming it and saying, I really wanted this. And then acknowledging that it's not happening or it hasn't happened the way that I wanted to. And that makes me feel really sad and that kind of sucks. If you haven't allowed yourself to go through that process, then accepting what is happening is going to be really difficult for you, and it can perpetuate that feeling of stuckness and just like, nothing is moving forward. I don't know what to do. But when we name the things that we have lost, the time, the energy, the version of ourselves who had endless hours to just create and do whatever they wanted, when we name that, it really allows us to then recognize in time the things we have also gained from this new season. Maybe new connections that are coming in, or a new environment that is a little bit better than what we had before, whatever it is for you. But I think it's really important to just acknowledge the season that we're in, grieve anything that we have lost from the previous one, and then open ourselves up to recognizing what positive changes may also be happening underneath the surface. So the next thing that I've learned in this season is that it's really important to embrace the power of micro creative sessions. I used to tell myself all the time that I just needed this huge chunk of time in order to create. Like if I just had hours and hours in the day to create, then oh my gosh, that would be absolutely perfect. But the interesting thing is that's what my life looked like in the beginning of the year. And even most of last year, the year before that, I was living by myself. I was kind of doing my own thing. I had autonomy over my time and what I wanted to do. So I would have these chunks of time that I could just give towards creating and making art. But the interesting thing is I didn't produce as much art as I thought that I would in that time. And the reason for this is there's this principle called the Pareto principle, I believe. I probably should have looked this up before I wrote it down. I don't know if it's the Pareto principle, but I believe that it is. Basically, that a task will fill the amount of time that is allotted to it. So if you give yourself 3 months to do something, it's going to take you 3 months. If you give yourself 1 hour to do something, it's going to take an hour. Now, this isn't hard and fast. There's a lot of nuance to these things, as there always is. But generally, I have actually found this to be true in this current season of my life. So I was working on a novel project at the start of this year. And I worked on it for like 9 months. And in those 9 months, I wrote 15,000 words of the manuscript, and it was sort of like a rough draft and things like that. But I've decided to temporarily shelve that project for now because I realized it was like really big, and I was like, okay, I don't think my skills are quite at the level that I want them to be in order to execute this. But then I wanted a project that was a little bit simpler, still challenging, but more in line with my current interests and to learn how to write. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna pursue writing a novella, just like a short story, in order to start and finish something. So I allowed myself to do that, and I think I started drafting this novella in November, and in 25 days, I have written 20,000 words. In 25 days. It took me 9 months to write 15,000 words of the other project. And now I have done 20K in 5 days. And 20K for me is huge because I am expecting this draft of this novella to be about 30,000 words. I'm hoping the final story is going to be closer to 40, but this draft is looking like it's going to hit about 30,000 words. So that means I'm 2/3 done with the story. And I was like, wait, how did I do that? And I will tell you, it was through embracing micro creative chunks and blocks of time. I was like 10 minutes over here and 25 minutes over there, and I really changed the story that I was telling myself in order for me to be able to do this. And I started to tell myself a different mantra. Rather than I need all this time to create, I started telling myself I can create anything, anywhere, in any amount of time. And what this did is it really didn't limit me to a specific location, because as much as creatives, we do love a good ritual and all these things. If you need your ritual to activate and turn on your creativity, then when you don't have access to that, you can feel like, oh my gosh, then I absolutely can't create everything. But I realized upon reflection, what I really wanted for myself is to have my creativity be resilient and flexible, and to be able to create on command. Like, I'm like, okay, I've got 10 minutes to be able, in that 10 minutes, to drop into my creative energy and produce something. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing. It doesn't have to be absolutely amazing. but to really have myself not need all these different rituals and fluff and all this stuff in order to create. Nothing wrong with them. I am so looking forward to the time when I can do that, because that is also amazing and valuable. But I realized that this is actually an opportunity to train my creativity, to be able to show up whenever I needed to. And I've seen that's what has been happening. So a lot of these words that I've written for the novel that I'm working on right now, the novella, I did it on my phone whilst laying in bed, just typing away, replacing scroll time with writing. And so it's little things like that. So even with my art, I would be like, oh, I can only make art if I have like an hour to do things. And I was like, no, girl, no. you got 15 minutes over here. Just pull out your iPad and do your thing. And so that's something that's really been helpful for me. And I can already see the difference, because your body is incredible and it will adjust to whatever you tell it to. Another thing that I've learned and found really helpful is focusing more on energy management rather than time management. And what this means is that I have started to really pay attention to my energy. I had briefly touched on capacity earlier, talking about how capacity is the truth. And one of the biggest markers of how much capacity you have to do anything in your life is your energy. So I started studying my energy, really paying attention to how my energy worked, but also acknowledging the fact that in this season, your capacity just naturally shrinks when you're going through a lot of stuff and you have all these responsibilities or all these things that you need to be tending to. So I really started paying attention to how my energy worked, to the kind of things that drained my energy and the things that gave me energy. And then I also really paid attention to the windows and pockets of time that I had available to me and the moments where I felt most energetic just naturally. And so for me, I am a morning person through and through. My best, most optimal hours for creating are between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m., round about there. And then again in the evenings from about 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So these are the windows of time that I find that my creative energy is just at its best. Now, regardless of that, in the season of my life, I have found that I don't always have the luxury of working and creating in my optimal windows. And so that's where the previous point really comes in, where I'm retraining myself to say that I don't have to only create in my optimal windows of time, but it's also really important to find one of those windows, at least one window where you're like, okay, I have this time where my energy is the best, and to guard that as much as you possibly can. So the way that has looked like for me is I am a morning person. And so previously, before everything happened and things got crazy, I was free to sort of wake up kind of like whenever I want. So I would wake up more like 6, 7, and then I would go about my day, and then I'd start creating around 8:30, 9, and then go on until noon, and just that's how it went. And then another section of time a little bit in the afternoon, and then more in the evening. So I just had that freedom. But now, because I've moved back home and we live on a farm, it's really beautiful. Talking about some of the things that I've gained at this season is like, oh, it's a really beautiful environment and it's really lovely, but it's a farm and there are a lot of people here. Like right now we've got people tending to the land and it's planting season and all of that. So here people can be knocking on your door asking for stuff as early as 6:30 in the morning. Like it's crazy. That's rare though. It's more like 7:30. From 7:30, people are like, we did this and we did that, da, 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 da. And there's just a lot going on here. So because of that, I've had to assess and understand that, okay, from about 8 in the morning, my responsibilities start kicking in, and I have to start attending to all these different things and tending to the home and doing all that stuff. And so I have had to reorient myself to really guard my morning hours and wake up a lot earlier. So it looks like waking up at 5, and then those hours between 5 and 7 are really times that I try to guard religiously for my creativity. So even right now, I am filming this, it's like 6 a.m. when I started filming this, well, more like 6:30. But yeah, really early, because that was the only time, this window is the only time that I genuinely have to myself. And so I try my best to protect that. Evenings are a little bit more challenging because I'm tired at the end of the day. And the next tip that I'm going to talk about is something that helps with that a little bit. But I really try and get another 2 hours of work in the evening from like 7 to 9 or 8 to 10. And I just do my best. I also don't force myself to create perfectly or optimally. I just want to do things that allow me to maintain my connection to my creativity. So those are things that I really want you to think about. Find a window where your creativity is at its best and protect it. Guard it with your life, my friends. Like, do it. And so the final lesson that I have learned in this time, and that's allowed me to maintain my connection with my creativity and make time for my art, is I have learned how to regulate constantly throughout the day. Because the reality is, when you're in a really stressful situation, even if it's positive, like, oh, you just had a baby, it's a beautiful thing, but it's stressful and it's demanding. And again, your capacity is not what it used to be. And so because of that, I have learned the importance of self-regulation more than anything. I've always been interested in this topic, and I've been learning about it for the past 2-3 years now, but this felt like the practical. You know how in school, like, we have the theory exam and then you got the practical exam? Yeah. This season of my life feels like the practical application of everything that I've been learning about how to regulate your nervous system. And I think I'm going to link a resource or video that has been really helpful for me. And I try to keep this simple. You're gonna hear a lot of people say do a lot of different things. Breathing is a really huge one. Connecting with a resource that is comforting to you. Like, I am filming this video right now whilst I've got my teddy bear here, because it's just helping me calm down. But learning simple ways to regulate your nervous system throughout the day is important, because when you're in this high stress environment and you're constantly being triggered essentially by things, what you need is to have your nervous system resolve the stress in the sense of understanding that it's now done. And this is how we start moving into trauma. Trauma happens when something is happened to us and it gets stuck in our body because we didn't have the opportunity to really resolve it and process through it and have it move through our system. So I have found that what's really helpful for me is just having pockets of time where I self-connect. And maybe I'm going through something, I'm having to deal with a situation and it's really like frazzling me. When I'm out of that situation, even if it's just like 5 minutes, I've got a lull, I will check in with myself and be like, hey girl, how are you doing? That was hard, wasn't it? Like, that was a lot. Yeah, but you did good. You did good. And it's okay. This isn't going to be forever. It's not going to be like this forever. We're getting through this. Okay. So just take it one moment at a time and we're fine. We're safe now. And I just breathe. I try to stay calm, because before I'd find that when I would feel frazzled, the next moment that I had of downtime, I would just scroll on social media and I'd try to sort of numb out. But that's not actually resolving the issue. I've talked about earlier, really having to resolve things and deal with things, and acceptance helps you do that, but so does regulation. Really connecting with yourself, even for just 5 minutes, to say, hey, I see you, I saw that was hard, it's over now. Even if the next moment you're gonna have to walk into something difficult, taking it chunk by chunk and saying, okay, we dealt with this, we're done, it's done, we're moving into something crazy again, but that's okay, we can handle that. And then when that's done, really being like, okay, and we're good. So what that has done, I found over time, is it's actually giving me more energy, because when I come to the end of the day and I'm getting ready to create, I have a little bit more energy in my system, because I don't have all these open loops in my mind of like, oh, this happened and this person said this to me, or this didn't go right. I've spent time during the day really connecting with myself and trying to move through those situations and acknowledge what I'm going through. And so that's just been really helpful for me. It's not perfect. Obviously, I can't do this perfectly all the time, but I do find that it has made a huge difference, and it gives me more of a clear mind when I am sitting down to create. And even at the end of the day, before I go to sleep after a creative session, because sometimes I'll sit down to create and then it doesn't go well, really sitting with myself after that and being like, that's okay. It happens, and that's fine. And really trying to let the pressures and let of the stresses of the day go, so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm fresh, I'm starting over, and I feel just a little bit more energetic. But something to bear in mind, this is something we practice. Learning how to do this it takes time. And so being very kind, being very compassionate with ourselves as we navigate a challenging season is just non-negotiable. As you heard, I've really had to do a lot of work on my internal voice to make sure that I'm also not adding to the stress that I'm already going through by being mean to myself. Like, that's not helpful. So those are the things I wanted to share with you today. I hope this is helpful, and I hope it'll support you in your creative journey, especially if you're going through something really challenging, like life is hectic right now for you. Then I hope this is gonna support you and let you know that it's okay. I see you. I know. We're in this together, and we're gonna get through this. It's not gonna be forever. Okay. I love you, baby, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.